So it's been an incredible couple of days visiting the bank, and I'm really excited about the living building idea. And I'm wondering, what our next steps are on that. Sounds like you have an incredible construction company lined up. Love to work with them. What do you see as what we should do next?
Well, I thought about it last night a bunch, and Cindy and I talked about it, and we pretty much decided we got to do it. We got to figure out a way to do it and try to make it and get the certification, the living building certification.
Fantastic.
I think it's the next level, the next level of stuff we have to do, especially after seeing that chart of where LEED buildings are, where platinum is, and why did I spend all this money and effort doing this building when I could have done something more,
Well, this building is magnificent. I mean, to me, this building is a breakthrough in its own right, and it's just how do you keep learning, evolving, growing, And so, a living building it's a regenerative building. It's like it's giving back more than it takes. It's just that simple. And Susan and I were talking about this, and we think that even though it's one building, the way that it could connect with companies all over the region. So if it helps you have a dialogue with a wood manufacturer to help them use local wood in new ways and more sustainably sourced wood in new ways that can be engineered and go into a lot of cool new buildings, or if there's a window manufacturer locally that can start to do triple glazed windows or high performance windows, this could end up engaging 20 or 30 local companies to help them rethink their products a little bit, make them less toxic. And if they can do that, feed into this building that gets showcased, you start to have a cluster of living building product manufacturers in the region. I mean, it's part of revitalizing the whole region.
It really is, and I thought of that last night too. And there's a couple of different award things that are done. One of them is called the Fast 50 Awards, which is the 50 fastest growing companies in Central Florida, and we were honored as one of those companies. But when I was going through the list of the companies that won, not just the honorees, but the companies that won, which we were one of the companies that won, it was something like 6 out of the top 10 were construction companies, or construction related.
Yeah.
And that is really the only industry in Florida, and if we could influence the input of what goes into buildings more, and there's a lot of window manufacturers within a 100-mile radius. There's a lot of manufacturers. You met the sawmill guy last night, and he's just so enthusiastic about this stuff. And now through his work on this building and in my other buildings, he's really gets it. He gets the local, the sourcing stuff locally.
And so this one building tells so many different stories. If you're able to replicate it, you mentioned maybe doing a couple of other branches that could use a similar design as the bank expands over time. It's telling so many stories. I mean, doing this at a really competitive price point, having this as a template that you can build more of these, it'll show other companies, not just in the financial sector, all sectors, that you can do a commercial living building. And it's a great statement about values. It's viable. It has basically zero operating costs, so that's a nice benefit right there.
I really like it.
I mean, it would be a breakthrough, because doing it with a really lean budget would send an incredible signal that the time has come for this kind of building. I've been lucky enough to be involved with the Bullitt Center project, which is it's phenomenal. But the criticism has been, it's technically an amazing building. It's a beautiful building. People that work there love it, but it's an expensive building. And so we get that kind of constant critique. It's like, how could you replicate that? Is this one-off thing that a foundation did? And we've made the point, actually, it really wasn't that high of a premium, when you really look at all the operational benefits. But even so, there's a grain of truth to the critique, that we had to pay a premium to get that building done. And so to do a next generation of living building that really almost erases the premium and just takes it totally out of the equation. It's like, it's not about, are you spending 5 or 10% more? That's not the question anymore. It's, why would you ever build something that's not regenerative? I mean, why even do it any other way?
It doesn't make sense. And I felt like you were a little too apologetic about the price, because if you think about it, it's not much of a premium.
Right.
And it goes back to the whole American ethos of more, more, more.
Right.
Do you really need that imported granite countertop? No, just take that out and put solar.
Exactly. Yeah, we've talked about redefining a Class A office building.
Right.
Redefine it away from like the marble and the prestige materials to it's Class A in terms of what it's giving back to the world.
Right, right.
And more millennials, all kinds of workers actually care about that. That's what motivates them. That's why Google and Apple are building outrageous kind of beyond Platinum Elite headquarters buildings, because the building cost for them is so small compared to being able to retain brilliant young workers. And those workers are only going to be in a place that, number one, is unbelievably healthy, right, in terms of air quality, natural light, the experience of nature in the building, and their access to also recreation, working out. They need all of that to be effective workers.
Yes.
So those companies see that as an absolutely essential investment just to keep their employees fulfilled and motivated. And I think that's true, for what you're doing with the bank. Having a building like this, I can tell people love to be in this building. The air quality is amazing, the views, having a living wall. Every day you walk in the lobby and you connect with nature in this wonderful, subtle way. And I can tell that helps morale for people here. So it's the same thing as you move towards a living building or other kinds of regenerative buildings.